this time looking at my exhibition layout, Potter's Lane. This layout is being constructed as part of the bigger YMR Global Modular layout and is designed so that all of the other modules will join together to form a bigger run. My layout is quite unique, to be honest. Construction is on an old interior door that's been chopped in half, and then the rest of the background, the back scenes, bases and everything are actually constructed of a material called Foamex, which is this stuff. It's very lightweight and it's used by sign writers for making shop front signs, displays, etc. It's quite hard wearing, it cuts easily with a knife, and it's spot on, to be honest, for making models with. Right, let's have a quick look around the layout at some of the features that we have. Over here, starting in this corner, this will be where the control panel is located. You can see these little sliders here that slide in and out. These are linked through these linkages, which in turn are drive some rods, cranks and things, pulleys, which then will operate the points. Underneath here, if I just lift up this track base, you will see that the track bed itself is made out of 3 sheets of Foamex board. We have the bottom layer here, we have the middle layer, and then we have the top layer. The middle layer, with it being hollow, can actually incorporate moving pieces that slide. These are in turn connected, if I can pull the right lever. So when I pull this lever here, you'll see this slides backwards and forwards. So if you attach a pin to this, this should push the tie bars on the points. I say should because I don't know whether this is going to work or not yet until I actually get the points, but we will see. Over here we have the signal box, which has a lid that removes. You can see the interior just inside there. Can't get the lid back on again, I'll come back to that one. Moving a bit further over, the trains enter the layout from underneath the bridge and they pass over the canal. There we go, there's the canal. With that dodgy man running down the towpath there. You notice that there's a little archway that goes up there. This is actually the entrance to the station, to the island platform that comes up these stairs here. Moving on to the station building. This is based on a typical West Coast Main Line structure. It's got the typical overhanging concrete roof, small windows. It is all fitted with LED lighting and everything. It's just not powered up at the moment. But if we just sort of pan round a little bit. Moving on, we've got the footbridge. This is actually scratch built. I spent about 4 days building this and painting it and weathering it and everything, and then found out that Bachmann have just produced a ready to run one, so wasn't really impressed. But there again, mine has fully working lights, so you can't get that out of the Bachmann one. The boards, the modules is actually 2 modules joined together, and the size of the completed layout is 6 foot by 2 foot. So that gives you 2 2 foot by 3 foot modules. The modules are joined by nuts and bolts which are hidden under the station building. Just put the camera in there, you'll see there's the back of the bolts, and if we come round this side, there's the nuts on the other side. They are concealed inside the platforms. As you see, this is hollow. This actually goes down about 3 to 4 inches in depth. You can just see the interior door underneath there. If we flip the station building over, you'll notice the positive and negative there for the interior lighting. These are basically just a bit of coiled wire, which, as you can see, sort of springs. This sits on 2 wires that are stretched in the void underneath the platform, and make contact, so enabling the lighting to work, but this can still be removed for access. Moving a little bit further, for this side we have, if I just pick it up, we have this section here, which is the next piece of platform to go in. As you can see, it's got a hole there for the footbridge, and it's got a section cut out. This will fit in here, and this section will then pull out so you can have access with a spanner to get the nuts on the other side. The reason I've left it off is, if I turn the camera around again, you'll see we've got two copper wires running across here. These carry the 5-volt supply for the station lighting, but the thing I wanted to show you was that with this layout and this type of construction, there is no access underneath. So basically what we have to do is everything has to be surface mounted. So you can imagine things like overhead line structures are a bit of a pain to secure. This one, you'll see, passes through this upright, and it will be held in place when the platform sits over the top. So basically that will hold that like that. That will hold that nice and tight. Here we have there's two wires, you can just about see them in there. They're soldered onto there, that's for the light. They then run under these copper wires underneath, they will run to the back of the layout. Just point out here that we've got one of these, I'll pull it out. There we go, it's a standard SCART connector, normally found on the back of your telly. But the good thing is that it gives you 21 pins, so you can actually go out and buy a SCART lead and use two of these, and you get a 21-way point-to-point connector without having to do a lot of soldering, to be honest. Keep a few SCART leads spare, job's a good one. Basically that will go in that hole in the back, and once there's a building fitted around it, nobody will know it's there. Moving up here, we have the floor for the TMD. It's not switched on at the moment, but you'll know there's loads of little LEDs all fitted in there into walkways. Moving back a little bit there, we've got the steps, so I might pick the steps up. There's the steps. The reason I built these rather than going for the Pico product was that I didn't think it was deep enough. With putting a scale model of a person, you can actually put the person in there and you can drive the train over the top of them, because it's that depth. It's got that much depth there, but it looks much more realistic. So there will be a shed built over this area here. Now this recess is the back half of the canal. I wanted to use the depth that we have here on the layout to the maximum that was available. So I thought, well, we'll go for the canal at the bottom and then we'll build it up in levels to make it more visually interesting. So as you can see, the canal sort of comes down here. Here you can just make out the top of the interior door. Then the canal sort of goes through, swings round, we come round the back, we've got a bit of a canal wharf that will be built over there. This will have a bridge section fitted in here, which will then lead round to this side. And then in this location here, we're going to be building a lock. So this will then raise the level of the boats up, so it will then go over the top of this. Now I'd just like to point out here that this is another set of point control rods. As you can see, these slide backwards and forwards. Again, they are connected to another set of the levers that you've seen previously, but they are actually accessed through a hole underneath the TMD at the back. Again, these come down here and they operate on the pins that will sit in the points. This third one, I just pull that out of the way. Again, you can see, very simple. It's a seesaw type arrangement. You pull that, that moves that, that moves that. Gives you the movement there you need for your points. Track plan, pretty straightforward. Like I mentioned, we had to go to some dimensions, preset dimensions. Basically, we had to come from the edge of the board to the front rail was, for the top of my head, 4 inches. Then it was 2 inches from that rail to that rail. So in theory the next module should join to this module, but however we will be joining with a small bridge section anyway to compensate for anything.